Hi, my name is Dario, and today I will talk about using AI translations to powercharge your site. But let me start with a quick joke. Why did the translator break up with his computer? Because he felt the things never add up and they were always lost in translation.
Hi, I'm the real Dario, and I hope you weren't too freaked out by my AI clone. Thankfully, AI translations are much better than AI videos, and that's what I'd like to present today. How to use AI to translate your site and why you want to do that. But before I start, super quick info about me. I work for Undergo Systems, company most of you probably know from WPML, most popular plugin for making multilingual WordPress sites. I am a content manager and my team does documentation, announcements, marketing materials, videos, and more. Okay, so let's start. 20 years ago, automatic translation started with basically something like, I have this word and in another language it is written like this, meaning it was map-based. As Edward, our company's top expert on AI translations, would say, it was only good for one thing, having a good laugh. But machine learning then became a thing, and they started using neural automatic translation. What happens is that they keep feeding tons of content to machines, including rules on how things are translated. At some point, machine became good at guessing. We can call it AI, but it's pretty basic in a way. It can do simpler things. It takes the input, assumes it's in the source language, and outputs in the target. However, for example, it won't know if the source is or isn't in the expected language. But they are really fast and efficient. Okay, so then neural networks kept evolving, and today they're about 90% correct. One of the issues is that there are unrepresented languages where there is very little content online to train it on. Like, for example, Romani language spoken by 4 million people in Romania, but with little content to train machines on. Today, everything has evolved so rapidly that everyone can use it. For example, University of Helsinki open sourced their data for everyone. Our team at Undergo Systems ran an experiment to compare the precision of DeepL versus Google. We used automatic translation on our own real projects, and we asked our people to do a human review as well. And results showed that DeepL is about 92% correct, and Google Translate goes to about 90%. While this quality will slightly increase, it won't get to 100%. With current neural translation engines, you won't reach 100% because languages are not standardized. They simply don't follow the same rules. For example, I like orange. It won't work if you translate directly, but if I tell you that context, it will. The problem is that a neural network doesn't try to understand the whole context. And this brings us to large language models, or LLMs, as they are called today. They are new technology and are smarter than this, and they understand the context and include the best answer when calculating the answer. And you can give them instructions for different cases, which is not possible with standard neural networks. However, the problem with large language models is that they are slow and hungry and expensive. So, now we can translate 90% really fast and economical, and then use LLMs to reach full quality. There are some additional challenges with large language models though. For example, you are never sure if it isn't making something up. And it can refuse to work on text you tell it to review, because the topic might be flagged as controversial in its instructions. Also, it often adds extra stuff that is nice when you chat with it, but when you need specific, sharp translations, this can be quite problematic. Okay, so that's the quick overview of the evolution of AI translations and where we are today. Our team is already working on taking AI translations to another level and trying to solve different language challenges. For example, imagine AI translating the phrase, "Grandpa hit the bucket." It could be really messy. Or how does it go about translating interface elements like buttons that have words on them like book or play, for example? In any case, we are living in exciting times for sure. Okay, so now let's see why you should actually translate your site. I believe that without a good reason, there is no way for me to even tell you any of this. You need the why for it to make sense. So let's see. The first one is obvious. You will reach a larger audience. Then it can improve your conversions and sales because people prefer doing business in their own language. Then you'll get better SEO, which is related to getting a larger audience, and it will boost your brand awareness because more people in more countries will know about your brand. And finally, it provides a better user experience because most people prefer doing stuff in their own language. Now, let me show you this in kind of a practical example. Currently, I'm living in Slovenia, which has 2 million people, okay? So let's see if I translate my site to other languages, and now I will focus only on like neighboring countries to see what it can mean for my business, okay? I add Croatia. By the way, I'm from Croatia originally, so I might have some people there. And I add Croatian language, and now I'm from 2, I came to 6 million. I add Hungarian, I'm at 16 million. Then I add German and the neighboring Austria region, so that's 25 million. Plus, of course, like many more people speak German, not just Austrians. And finally, I add Italy, and now I'm at 84 million. So from 2 to 84 million. Of course, it's not like I will reach them all, but my pool of potential clients just grows exponentially. And the other often case is to expand your reach to a neighboring country. And let me show you what I mean. As I mentioned, I'm from Croatia originally, but now I live for like many years in Slovenia. And even though I might know like a lot of people in Croatia, I might have a lot of kind of partners there and anything, like it won't mean anything if my site stays only in Slovenian. Because if I go to Croatia and just kind of clients will go like, okay, but we don't speak Slovenian. So it will be just like, it won't make a point. And this is even for languages which are somewhat familiar. They are quite different, but like they're both Slavic languages and a lot of things are similar. So imagine if you're talking about totally different languages. So translating your site makes total business sense for anyone trying to reach other markets. And next, why use AI translation and not some other way of translating like professional ones? First, it's super fast. There's nothing faster than AI translation today. Then it's super affordable. Go like check the prices and you'll see it's like really affordable. Affordable meaning like affordable for essentially the whole world. It's not just like, you know, some countries or some markets. Everyone can today use AI to translate their site. And finally, AI translations are accurate. You can depend on it. Okay, so now let's see how to translate a WordPress site using AI and what you need. So first, you will need to choose two things. First is the AI translation engine that will do the translations, and then which multilingual plugin will connect the dots in your WordPress site. So how do you choose a translation engine? There are very good options out there. As we mentioned, DeepL, Google Translate, then you have Microsoft Azure, you have Amazon Translate, and so on. So how do you choose? In our testing and our experience, DeepL still has the edge. So if possible, for your language pairs, we would go with that. But all other options are very, very good, and you know, just go with them and test them, and you'll find what kind of suits you best. And then, of course, you need to choose a multilingual plugin. Again, there are a lot of good options. Of course, WPML comes first, as I would mention it. Then you have Wiglot, you have G-Translate, you have Translate Press, and so on. There are options. If you Google it, you'll find it very quickly. But when you need to choose the plugin for your multilingual site, you need to pay attention to certain things so that you don't kind of find out about them later when you're already kind of in the process of translating your site. So think carefully of the features you need, okay? Does the plugin support translation engines that you want to use? How good is its translation management? You know, how if you can send it to kind of other people to translate, or actually to review, if you can use translation memory so that you don't need to retranslate the same content all the time. Does it allow you to use a glossary so you can specify like how to translate certain phrases and words? This is all important. And then of course, it also comes down to pricing. So there's price of the plugin itself and usually attached price of actual AI translations. So while some of these plugins for WordPress can be very cheap or even free to start with, if whenever you like kind of go a step up and you need some additional features, they can soon become pretty pricey. So take into account all of this and just take a look at their pricing models and what features you get for which price tags. And finally, when it comes to translating your website using AI, a good question to ask yourself is, do you need a human review for the AI translations? If you do, and in many cases you will want to do this, like make sure that the plugin you want to use does support this, because not all of them do. Okay, so let me now actually show you how to do like a automatic site translation on the example of WPML, of course, because that's what it's easiest for me to show you and works best in my opinion. So I didn't go through the whole setup here. I won't go through it, but I will start with this step where WPML, when you install it first on the site, it asks you how to translate your content. So you can do everything automatically. So when you update or write, publish any new posts, it does it in the background. Or you can translate what you choose. So you send specific pages to translation and only them are done. So I will select everything automatically. And now it asks me like, what happens afterwards? Do you want to review it before it gets published and live on the site, the translation? Or you want to publish it right away, but still I want to review, I want to take a look later? Or you can just publish it without reviewing. I'll do this option where it's kind of published, but I will review later. And it asks me just if I'm ready to start translating it now. Yes, let's start translating. That's cool. And then I'll just quickly go through these things. And this is okay. And I'm done. Okay. So when I click finish, I will be taken to WPML translation dashboard. Here it is. And now it's already working, okay? It's calculating what I have in my site. It's preparing content for translation and so on. So all I need to do is like, let it work. And that's it. It seems my page is done. I started with 10,000 credits, translation credits, and it obviously did something. Let's go to pages. And this button says I can review the translation, which means it was done. Okay, so let's take a look at the front end. This is it's a hotel demo. This is a home page. I have some pages. And if I switch to Spanish, let's take a look. That's it. It's done. So the content was translated. And if we go back to, let's go back to our admin and take another look at that button to review. Let's see, home page. I click the button. So now I'm on the front end in the review mode. I have a button to go back, to edit the translation if something is amiss, and I can accept it. So, and that's it. Very, very simple. If I click accept, it goes to another page. Here, I click it and I can review the next one. And that's it, essentially. My site is translated. Also, if I edit or add a new page, it will be done automatically. So let's see. I will create a page. Sorry, it doesn't have anything to do with hotels, but just for test, let's see what happens. Okay. And it's already actually translated. Okay, so I didn't even have time to kind of see it translate because that was it. So if I take a look, it's indeed translated. And finally, just to show you that besides going to pages or posts and checking their status, everything is also on the WPML translations page, where you see a list of done or pending jobs. And if you're a reviewer, so not just you as like the site admin or the site owner can do this, but you can assign review to different translators / reviewers. They will see the same and they can review. This is important to mention because most of the WordPress plugins that do AI translations, they allow you to review the translations yourself, but not all of them allow you to actually assign translators and send to review to others. And just quickly, this is under the translators tab in translation management. So, you can just add someone and they can review your AI translations. Okay, so finally, what if you want to choose yourself which content to translate? Of course, WPML also allows you to do this. Before, we were in this translate everything automatically mode, and now WPML settings allow us to switch to this one, which I did. And now you go to translation management. That's like the translation management dashboard, and you can send whatever you want to automatic translation. Let's say, for example, the home page, how you want to translate automatically. You say start translating, and the first time it will ask you what you want to do afterwards. I'll say I'll review them later, like before. Save settings. And that's it. So now only this page will be translated just like before, but in this case, this is like I am in control of what goes to translation. And as you can see, that's it. It was done. Okay, before closing, let me mention one more thing that I think will be very interesting to you. Especially if you're coming from like the agency background, which I believe you are, and if you build stuff, custom stuff for clients, like custom themes and maybe even some custom plugins, stuff like this. What we are working on right now, it's still closed, and we will open it to partner testing very soon. Is a new service in the cloud called Private Translation Cloud. Or PTC, as we call it shortly, and it will enable you to easily and instantly, using AI, translate any type of software you develop. So Android apps, iOS apps, and of course WordPress plugins, WordPress themes, any type of software. How it will work is that you will just connect your code repository, like Git, for example, to your account, and the system will automatically see when there's any new code that you've created that it needs to scan, and will translate it automatically in the background. You don't need to worry about anything, and you will just get a merge request, review it, and that's it. So look it up, and if you want to get in touch about it, maybe you're interested in testing it, let us know. We'll be happy to talk. And finally, within this service and this tool, we also made available for everyone for free the free translation tool, which is currently most useful for exactly for the WordPress community, because you can use you can upload any translation file from your theme or plugin, and our system will free of charge automatically translate it, and you will be able to download the translated translation files. Of course, this free tool doesn't have the advanced features that the final product will have, like, for example, the possibility to review automatic translations, but still we believe it will empower, it can empower like all these small plugins and themes out there to use it and have a pretty good, pretty solid automatic translation of their plugin, and make their plugin more accessible to people around the world. And this brings me to the end. So thank you very much for watching my presentation, and thank you for being here. See you soon.